What's up, everybody? I'm here to do a quick review today, and I'm actually going to be doing a quick review for the next couple videos over the next couple weeks. I'm going to be looking at the Batman Arkham games, which are two games that I've always wanted to look at. We're going to be looking at Batman Arkham Asylum, obviously judging by the title screen there, and Batman Arkham City. Now, I've always wanted to do both these games. I just wanted to get a feel for both of them. I've actually played through Arkham City all the way through. Arkham Asylum I haven't, surprisingly. But I really wanted to get a sense of what these games played like in order to do these quick reviews, because these are commentaries and not scripted reviews like my other ones. But yeah, let's get started. And we'll kick things off with a new game. Subtitles on. And normal. Now this game was in development for the longest time. Development really dated back, I think, to 2007. It was a really long development process. Rocksteady Studios, who developed this game, wanted it to be perfect. They wanted this to be a really, really good Batman game. And good Batman games, really good DC comic video games, are really tough to come by. Marvel Studios has been treated far better than DC Comics has in the video game world. And Batman, despite how many bad games have come out, has been the better treated over the years. With Batman for the NES, Batman Returns, The Adventures of Batman and Robin, those are great games. There's also been a handful of bad games like Batman Return of the Joker, Batman Forever, which is awful. And I think the most recent terrible Batman game was the movie adaptation for Batman Begins, which everyone is quick to forget about. Now, Rocksteady Studios, wrote a very good story that not only lived up to, the dark and gritty element of the movies, but also lived up to the animated show and the comics in general. It was such a unique story and was really the first comic book video game that I've seen that has gone into this far detail with the story. With the character development, and they did a great job with the casting. Mark Hamill and Kevin Conroy reprising their roles from the animated show. Best decision that Rocksteady could have made, especially with Mark Hamill. I love Mark Hamill as the Joker. He is my absolute favorite. Now, for the most part, the game looks great. This is clearly, at the time, the best Batman game to ever come out. This was made off the Unreal Engine 3 engine, which is the engine that became very popular for Gears of War. Which, it's a great engine, but it does have its share of flaws. It's probably my least favorite of all the engines used, my favorite being the Rage engine, which has become the Rockstar engine for this generation of gaming. The Unreal Engine does have its share of flaws. The environments look great. The character models, body-wise, look great. It's the faces that really generally turn out really piss-poor for the Unreal Engine. All you have to do is look at games like Gears of War and realize that the faces are not really the engine's strong point. But Rocksteady is really the only studio that was able to really work around that, mainly because it is Batman. Since Batman wears a mask, they're not really focused on the face that often. The portions of the face that you do see, you can see the flaws of the engine. But with the Joker, his face is all distorted. The rest of the enemies are really distorted, like Croc and all that. So they were able to work around that and really eliminate the flaws of the engine, because the faces in the game are already distorted and really odd looking. So, they didn't have to worry about the problems that previous games have had like Gears of War, Mass Effect, and all those that had trouble really animating the faces with that engine. Now, really the only flaw that really comes with this engine that does appear in the game is kind of the lip movement. They weren't able to really sync up the lip movements with the dialogue that well, and that's not really the developer's fault. That's kind of the limitations of the engine in general when it comes to its facial animations. So some of it looks good, some of it doesn't, with the lip sync, so not really faults of the developers. Now, this entire introduction is really just meant for you to get a sense of the environment that you'll be playing in for the next 8 hours or more. You really have to look around you. Like, there's certain characters that you can see. If you really pay attention around you, you can actually see the level of detail that they went into with this game. Like, they put smudges, everything on the walls. There's actually an Arkham sign up here that looks like it's faded out from age. Stuff like that. Little details like that just really impress me. Like this guy. That's a horrible face. That is awful.
Need to take my temperature? I'd be happy to drop my
Mark Hamill is so great in this, and if you were to ever watch him perform this role in person while he's recording it, I mean, he just gets so into character. It's so amazing. Mark Hamill is such an underrated actor. As big of the roles that he's been in, he still, in my view, has not been given the credit that he deserves. He is such a great actor.
Can you smell the excitement in the air? No?
I think it would have. Everyone, always wonders what Mark Hamill would have been like if he were to ever play a live-action Joker. Like if it had been him instead of Heath Ledger in The Dark Knight. As much as I love Heath Ledger in that role, I actually would love to see Mark Hamill perform this in real life because, the way he acts it during the voiceover, I think he'd be really cool in the role. Let's get a close-up of Croc here, Killer Croc.
What's it doing?
I've got your scent, Batman. I will hunt you down.
Now, in this game, I'm not sure whether... I'm only going to be playing 30 minutes into this game. That way I'm not taking up a lot of time here. The voice actors, for the most part, are really good. Are really, really good. Especially, I really want to say a lot of criticism went to Harley Quinn in this game, saying that the voice and the look of Harley Quinn did not quite live up to expectations. A lot of people didn't like the new look, and a lot of people thought that the voice actress was not as committed as the rest of the cast. I didn't mind the voice acting. I did agree with the look, which we might get a brief look at in a bit. But
I still have a trick or two up my sleeve.
But I do like the voice of Harley Quinn.
Funny how a fire at Blackgate caused hundreds of my crew to be moved here. I thought I told you to stay.
I think
Frankie, you really should learn to keep that fat mouth of yours shut.
I think one of the reasons why I like this story is because not only is it such a great story, but they went into great detail with the dialogue, keeping it from being, hammy, keeping it from being, the typical kind of video game storyline. These could have literally been movies. Arkham Asylum and Arkham City could have literally been movies on their own. That's how good they are. And a lot of people have actually kind of protested into them being turned into movies. I think it's kind of too late for that. I think the video games stand on their own. I view them as movies myself. I view them as movies that just happen to be video games. That's how I view other games that are such detail with the story, like Grand Theft Auto and LA Noire. All these other games that have such great detailed stories. Look at the Joker. That just evil, evil grin of the Joker. That is just amazing. Especially from that angle that we just had.
Only 3? I'll be sure to try harder next time.
Now, for those who haven't played this game yet, really, really pay attention to the dialogue at the beginning. It plays wonders into what you can expect in the game. You know, and that was the whole reason. So many people complained about how lengthy the opening was when the game first came out, and then once they finally played all the way through, they realized the opening really mattered. And this is a brief look of what Harley Quinn kind of looks like with the boots and all that. We might have enough time to view her in her first full cutscene in the game. Now, I hate to harp on this anymore, but the engine, the flaws in the engine, you kind of tell with Commissioner Gordon, too. You know, the face does look very off.
He surrendered almost without a fight. I don't like it. At least he's back where he belongs.
Now, this is, you know, a lot of people wonder why so many games have not just done facial recognition like LA Noire. There's a specific reason. Is because the facial recognition is technically not an engine. Rockstar, the way they did that with LA Noire was that they did the facial recognition, then they did the bodies and all that through the Havoc engine, and it wound up having to be redone in the special edition because it didn't quite match up in the original edition. That's why so many games have not gone that route. Is because, you know, there's so many things that you have to focus on technically to keep everything, you know, even looking with the facial recognition, and it's really a hassle. Now, this is the first look that we'll get at the combat. The combat, unlike, you know, everything else, like the puzzle elements and all that stuff in the game, the combat is a little more simplistic. It's kind of just this automatic lock-on. Like, you control him with the left analog stick. The way you point it tells you what enemy that you're going to be aiming at next. It's really simplistic. But it works. It's very arcade-like in a way. Okay. Come on. There we go. Now there is the counter. And honestly, the way the combat is designed, the counter really does not come into play with the basic one-on-one combat with the enemies that don't have weapons. With the enemies with weapons, the counter does come a little bit more into play. Now we're facing enemies without weapons, so the counter is not really needed. That's really cool. You know, if you look at Commissioner Gordon, he's actually moving just the way he is to the left as he is on screen.
I'm in control of the asylum. You're not going anywhere I don't want you to.
I actually prefer, you know, as much as I like Arkham City, I'm not going to really give away a lot about Arkham City until I do it next week. But I do like Arkham Asylum a little better than Arkham City. As far as environment goes. This Arkham Asylum, because you're trapped in this enclosed environment, you know, it gives it a much creepier feeling than that of Arkham City. But we'll get into that next week when we look at Arkham City. Now we'll get a brief look at the Batarang. You aim, typical aim and shoot with LT and RT for those who have played the 360, nothing different there. But you control where it goes with the right analog stick, and it's really an auto aim. The closer you get, it just automatically aims like that. Pretty easy. Now there are things that, you know, you can do. This is pretty much kind of a free roam environment for the most part. You know, obviously you have to go into the correct areas to continue the story. But you can roam around Arkham Asylum pretty freely in this game. Oh, darn. Thought I had it. I'm aiming way too far. I'm just fooling around right now. Here we go.
Everywhere that madman goes, death is sure to follow.
Okay, we should be coming up on another battle. I know this seems like a pointless thing to talk about, but that cape is awesome. You know a developer really cares about what the game looks like when they take the time to really animate the cape well. There we go. And dead. Now, as you go throughout the game, I'll bring this up now because we won't be able to in this kind of 30-minute quick review. You know, you can find various things throughout this. The same with the next game. But like everyone wonders, you know, what Joker's origins were. This one stuck to the Joker has no origins. Like you can find the Joker's file in Arkham Asylum, and it has nothing in it. Stuff like that is really cool. I'm really happy that they went into that level of detail.
You can't. He'll kill Mike if he sees anyone trying to get close.
He won't see me.
I see anything that looks even a little bit like a bat, and this guard dies.
Now we're going to get a good look at what the stealth is like. This is where I really credit Rocksteady Studios. You know, not only making this an action game, but also adding the stealth as well. You know, which is essential to how Batman fights. You know, this is obviously not a character with superpowers. He's very different from Superman. So, you know, he has to fight in a different way. The stealth comes in handy when you're fighting those with guns.
I've got to get close enough to Zaz to strike.
He'll see me coming on the ground, so I'll stay up high.
Now, the game can be rather simplistic. Like, Batman does give hints, you know, on what to do next. This I love. The detective mode. This was a cool addition by Rocksteady. You know, you could see enemies that you're about to approach from behind walls with the detective mode. You can see enemies from very far away. It's very, very detailed. Okay, now we're gonna start this one.
These old gargoyles should be able to support my weight if I grapple up to them.
And there we go. I'm hitting the wrong button there, that's why it kind of took me a while to get on there.
Zaz is down across the wall. Got to get close and take him out.
Trying to get out of detective mode here. It won't let me. Come on. Ah, darn it. I screwed that up royally. I was trying to get out of detective mode. It wound up sending me back up to the gargoyle. That was my stupid mistake. Aw, I do love when you fail, though. You know, you get these brief cutscenes with the Joker. That's really, really cool. We'll retry that again. Again, that was my stupid mistake.
Thank God. It's Zaz. He's got Mike. He's strapped in the chair. Zaz has totally lost it.
Wait here.
You can't. He'll kill Mike if he sees anyone trying to get close.
He won't see me.
Okay, let's try this again. God, I cannot believe I screwed that up. But it worked to the best. You guys got to see a brief cutscene of when you fail, which is rather cool. Let's get to detective mode. I don't like that, though. You know what button to hit, but you have to do this cutscene just to show what button to hit. I don't like that. Oops, sorry. I keep hitting my microphone here.
I've got to get close enough to Zaz to strike.
He'll see me coming on the ground, so I'll stay up high. Stop! He's done nothing! These old gargoyles should be able to support my weight if I grapple up to them.
I see anyone.
There we go. Let's try this again. Let's get out of detective mode. I was hitting the wrong button earlier. That's why I couldn't get out of detective mode. Oh well.
Zaz is down, but not for long. Got to get close and take him out.
There we go. Such a simple mission, I screw it up the first go-around. Okay, now we see Harley Quinn. This look I despise. I cannot believe they screwed up her look this badly. This pissed so many comic book fans off, including me. I like Harley Quinn's attitude. I like the voice. You know, they got the attitude and voice down right. I just can't believe that they actually changed her look so much for the game. Like, every other character looks like they did pretty much in the comic, with a bit more of a gritty look to them. But Harley Quinn, they really screwed up on. But we'll get one more, we'll show you one more feature of the gameplay, then I'll end it.
I'm here.
Arkham Asylum just vanished off the network.
He's in control of the security system. He's probably isolated it from the grid.
That's not all he's done. All police feeds are reporting he's placed bombs all over Gotham. Says he'll detonate them if anyone sets foot on Arkham Island. It's being suppressed at the moment, but the story will break any time now.
He's lying. It's just a diversion.
Again, there are various things throughout the game that do help you, like Barbara Gordon, aka Batgirl. She helps you throughout the game too. And okay,
Harley thinks she has me.
this I love, that you get to rip. You know, you get to rip the vents off the wall and all that, and it's really cool stuff. And this view is awesome, this first-person view. Alright. This is also rather creepy, too, especially when there's no music and no one talking to you. This view can be really creepy. Alright. See if we have time for just one more mission.
Toxins detected. Trapped in there.
Warning, decontamination. Area sealed.
What is that stuff?
Joker toxin. Listen, the room is full of poison gas. Anyone caught in there is dead.
Are you gonna get in there and help?
There we go. Alright. Okay.
This isn't a simple escape attempt. Joker's been planning this.
Please help me.
You're gonna be fine. Stay here.
Save the guard. Run, jump.
Batman's here. Just hold on a little longer, Steve. I can't. I'm gonna fall.
There we go.
Animal who did
Rescue guard number 2. I believe we get into a fight up here too.
Can't believe he left me here.
I love that. He saves him, then he knocks him completely out cold. That always cracks me up. Let's get into detective mode. I just thought that'd be fun to do. Okay. we will end this. Actually, you know what? I do remember what to do. I do. There we go. Sorry, I had to think about that for a bit. I actually haven't played Arkham Asylum for a bit. I've actually been playing a lot of Arkham City, which is why I kind of forgot about that one. Okay. God, what a quick review. I fail at one mission the first go around, then I totally forget how to get through that one. God, this is going to be a long experience through this game. But we'll end it right there. Batman Arkham Asylum. It is freaking awesome. Next week we'll be looking at Arkham City, and that one I'll do a little better at. I've actually played all the way through that game, so that will be just a little bit better. Thank you guys so much for listening, and I will see you next time.